This is the first testimonial in the Fuck Meth series. What is your name, sir?
Tyler Stoner.
And you're gonna tell us a little story, huh?
Yes, sir.
Everything you're saying is true.
Yes, sir.
Hand to God.
Hand to God.
Hand to God.
Hand to God.
That's all I need, sir. Go ahead and tell your story.
Well, I decided to come here because I wanted to give my testimony on how I was free from addiction, from meth, pills, pot, alcohol, sex, pornography, all those things, everything that every human struggles with that doesn't have faith. And, it started out when I was like 15 years old. I got in some trouble and was sentenced to rehab over some marijuana found in my pocket. And I got so angry about it that I convinced myself that it was okay to use harder drugs because I had to go live in a rehab for 6 months. And I was like, oh, well, if you're going to sentence me to rehab for 6 months and take me away from my family and everything, I'm going to give you a reason, because pot ain't a reason, you know what I mean? And I think that it's fine to smoke pot and all that. So the opportunity arose itself one day, and some people were around, and I tried what they called raw, and not knowing that's methamphetamine, because actually I had a bad taste in my mouth over meth because it ruined some of my family's lives. And so I tried it, and it was like the most awesome feeling ever, at first and everything. And stayed up for like a week, didn't eat, come down, and the first time I come down and woke up, I looked in the mirror and I thought to myself, I like literally started crying and was like, oh my God, I look like Frankenstein. Like, that's the only thing I could think was that, because it had changed my face so much, I looked like death walking. Well, it proceeded that I was on the run during that time from the law, and I was sentenced to go to boot camp for a crime I committed while on drugs. I was taking Klonopins at the time and kicked in a guy's door and beat him up in front of his kids real bad. And he pulled a gun on me, and I cut him with a knife and all this stuff. And so I ended up getting sentenced to all these felonies. And by the grace of God, I happened to be 16 when I committed these felons. My birthday was like 14 days later, to where they were trying to prosecute me as an adult, but they couldn't. And so I was saved from 45 years in prison for the crimes I committed while on just Klonopins. So all drugs are bad, but meth seems to be worse than others, because it will take a great mother and turn her into the worst mother there is. She'll kill, steal, rob, not always kill. People don't get to that point, but they will do anything to feed their addiction over their child. And some of you out there are saying, well, I've never done that, and I use, and I can control it, and moderation is the key. Because I used to say the same thing: moderation, moderation, moderation. If I just use a little, then that's fine. That, I won't be an addict. But anytime you put anything into your body that changes and alters your mind, even smoking marijuana, because when you do it, you breathe it in and you automatically want to cough it up, and it makes your eyes glossy. It takes your focus off things that are more important in life, and you're not able to focus on any spiritual beliefs as well. So my whole point is of doing this is because I was able to overcome my addiction, and I tried everything. Rehabs and boot camp really changed my life and everything, because I went in at like 80, 90 pounds tops. And for meth addiction, before I actually turned myself in, I had a shotgun in my mouth and was going to blow my brains out. And all of a sudden, I get a phone call out of nowhere, and it's my PO telling me to stop everything I'm doing, whatever I'm doing right now, to just stop it, don't do it. And it was like he knew that something was going to happen. And he didn't have my number or anything. He just somehow got in touch with me, by the grace of God, and stopped me from killing myself. And so I turned myself in, went to boot camp and everything, got out, and I had a choice to make. I could either go back to cooking meth or running dope for people and using, or I could get a job. So I took a job, and that changed my life more than anything. But I still remained addicted to pot, porn, to sex with different girls, as many as possible. to pain pills, Oxycontin, Percocets, Hydros, Xanax, anything to numb my mind from being in reality. And it wasn't up until recently that, my girlfriend prayed to God and asked him to bring a change in my life, because I was at the point to where she couldn't take it anymore, but she was too afraid to leave me. And within an hour or two after that, I was looking up Mikey Jenny, and you can find him on Facebook, Mikey Jenny. He's executeclothing.com, and saw his testimony and how God changed him. And not everybody's going to believe, in God, especially y'all watching this. Y'all won't understand, because I can't expect you to experience something or to understand where I'm coming from, because you haven't experienced what I've experienced.
Well, every experience is going to be different, Tyler.
Exactly.
But I brought you here to have you tell your story, and I want to thank you again for telling it. And go ahead.
All right. And my girlfriend just prayed that God would change my life, and I looked at Mikey because Mikey's a very unselfish, loving person, and I knew that we could feed our addiction just by like almost bumming off him. And I looked up his Facebook page, and he gave his life to God, and it just blew me away that this guy who had everything, all the girls he wanted, flying out to California, doing video shoots and rappers and the rap group he was in, and just all the things. A lot of people know Mikey Jenny. He's like a local celebrity around here, and I seen that he had changed and that he gave his life to God, and that just brought me to my knees almost. And I was just like, well, if he can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm not expecting everyone out there to accept what I'm saying, that you can only do it through Jesus, but it's the truth, in my opinion. That's what's helped me. So there's some of you out there that are like, well, I'm a good person, and all this bad stuff keeps happening to me. And that's the way I was. But all the stuff that I was doing was I was just feeding my friend's addiction, going out of my way to get people pills and not make any money off of them, get them drugs, not make any money off of them. But I was always getting screwed over. Well, it's because I was living for the wrong reasons. It took me surrendering all my problems. And when I say all your problems, I mean like all of them, man. I mean, your financial problems, your health problems, your worries, your pain, everything. You surrender it all, and He will come to you. And I did this in my bedroom. I was in my bedroom, and the Lord came into me and filled me more than heroin ever did, more than meth ever did, more than pot, pills, anything ever did. And that's how I was able to overcome my addiction. And I've been clear of all addictions for almost 3 weeks now. And I know that doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're an addict, you don't go a day without using. And when you do, you spend all day seeking, trying to find that. And when you can find it in other ways, like I'm not going to condemn a man that becomes a better person through meditation than through Jesus. I don't condemn anybody's religion. I'm a Christian. I'm not a Southern Baptist. I'm not a Seventh-day Adventist. I'm not Catholic. I'm none of these things. I follow the word of Christ in the King James Bible only, and that's what set me free from all addiction, all pain, all worry. And I don't say all this to beat y'all over the head with the Bible or anything. I only say it because that's what worked for me after 15 years trying to get clean from everything. And it happened overnight. He came down into my room while I was laying in bed when I surrendered all, with just me and my girlfriend. There wasn't a church, not a congregation, no preacher praying over me. It was me giving in to everything. And I mean everything. And since then, 3 or 4 days after, or the day after I got saved, an enemy of mine offered me a job. I got a job working for him. Haven't had work in months. The very next day, I prayed for our car situation to be straightened out. And it wasn't straightened out. But I get an offer for a free car, and it runs. So then I'm praying about a job, being able to get a job. Me and my dad have nothing to do with each other. He almost despised me, but would never let me work for his company ever again because I used to. And he offers me a job with his company. All these things don't happen overnight when you've been trying to do it for years. And the fact that I surrendered everything to God, and I told him I would follow him and believe no matter what, that he would take care of everything. And everything doesn't happen overnight. Jesus isn't synonymous with abracadabra. That's not the way it works. It's not like, oh, I pray and boom, abracadabra, Jesus fixes it. That's not the way it works. You have to have all faith. And the point about faith is seeing or not seeing and believing, not being able to feel it and know it's real, and all these things. And it says, and I have testimony in Scripture to back it up. Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. So God's telling you there in Matthew 7:7 that if you ask, then it shall be given to you. If you look for it and you knock, you will find it, and it will be given to you. And He does that. He really truly does that. And it's just amazing that no matter what I did, nothing ever worked. And for me, only through Christ was I able to overcome all my addictions. And I mean, literally overnight, I don't detox. I don't have cravings for drugs. I don't really cuss anymore. I don't, and every word out of my mouth was GD and F. He forgives all of us for anything. And it's just, I just hope I can save someone's life and change someone's future to where they don't have to go to jail. They don't have to go to prison. They don't have to lose their house. They don't have to lose their kids, because meth destroys. F meth. And praise God for setting me free. And I hope that this testimony will reach somebody and change their life. And for all who condemn me for it, I pray for you, and I love you regardless. Y'all are all my brothers and sisters, regardless of what you feel or what you think about me being a Christian. I still love you anyway, and I hope that no matter what it is, that you're set free from your addiction, whether it's through Jesus, yoga, or whatever. I don't care. Just get off the meth, stay away from all the pills, because pills are just as bad as meth. And F meth.
Thank you, Tyler.
You're welcome, brother.